Good morning. Today we wanted to talk about the 5 ways to create business, generate leads in 2022. Really simplify it for you. However, before we begin, go ahead and click the subscribe button down below and click the notification bell, and you'll be acknowledged or given opportunities to see future videos when they come out. So what are the 5 ways to generate business? I mean, there's 100,000 different ways in real estate, but you've really got to simplify it down to just 1 or 2 things, maybe 3 things, but we're going to give you 5 different ways. You really should pick things that are in your lane, like things that you really excite you. Like, don't go lead generate something that you don't desire to do. And with that being said, don't let the scarcity mindset get in your way either, of like, ooh, I don't like door knocking, or ooh, I don't like cold calling, or ooh, I don't like doing open houses, whatever. Don't let that affect you. Go out and do those things so that you can make sure that you are comfortable with doing those things. Maybe you will end up liking it. So with that being said, we're going to talk about those 5 different ways. And the first way is your database. Yep, that's boring. I get it, right? Nobody wants to talk about database. However, it works. So what do you need to do with your database? Your database, number 1, you need to come up with as many names and as many contacts as you possibly can. So you've got to do what I call stage 1 is create it. Create the database. Just get started. Take your phone. Take whatever, write things out, put people's names down. I don't care if they're in state, if they're out of state, just go ahead and do that. And therefore you'll be able to have contact information and be able to reach out to those people. The next thing that we need to do with it is update it, right? Is make phone calls, reach out to people, tell them that you're new to real estate. That's okay, right? If you're new to real estate. If you're not, go back and say, hey, I really apologize. It's on me. I haven't stayed in contact with you. If I'm an experienced agent, just own it, right? Go back and tell them that. That's exactly what you need to be able to do. Other things you can do with your database is run a contest, right? Go in and say, hey, anybody that gives me an updated information, I'm reaching out and contacting you today, and if you'll give me a phone number, if you'll give me an address, I'll enter you into a prize to win a Yeti cup, right? I don't know, make it something simple. It doesn't have to be anything expensive, and just say, for each piece of information you give me, I'm going to give you a ticket and put you into my database, so that way I can invite you to future events that I plan on running. You're going to be a VIP customer for me. Now, make sure when you do those things that you're actually fulfilling that. Don't just tease people and not give them a gift or a prize, or give them an opportunity to show that you gave away a prize. All right, so look at those things as opportunities to give them some value, such that they're giving you some information back. Here's something that people don't think very much about either around the database. If you want to, and you have the funds to do it, go hire a virtual assistant, $5 an hour. Have that virtual assistant be able to document everything that you need to document, right? They can be on the calls with you while you're making the phone calls. There's ways to add them to that call, and they can just be listening, taking notes. They can be updating your database. They can go through and do what I call scrape Facebook. So if you have a bunch of those people on your friends list that are in your database as well, they can actually be daily looking through and adding notes to your database, so you're keeping up with what's going on in your potential database client's world. Example, hey, just saw that this person had a baby, right? Now I can go in and have my VA see that in Facebook, and they can go in and put that into my database that says, hey, Jody Smith just had a baby. Baby's name is Joe. That's powerful. So when you call the next time, you can see a list of notes and you can actually engage and connect with them in a more specific way. Number 2 is Facebook. Use social media to get your message out. It's very much free. I wouldn't worry about overthinking the ads. Don't worry about how many friends you have. Yeah, certainly that's going to be important over time, but just get started. Go onto Facebook, post some things about what you're doing, like, hey, I'm studying, I'm in class for real estate, I'm learning about commercial. With the right permissions from people, you can put other people's listings on there. Again, check your state guidelines on that. Usually that's okay though, and let them know that you're not the listing agent, but you're looking for buyers for these properties. Engage on it. That's the big thing, is engagement. You can't just create a profile and not have anybody that are friends on it. You can't just not post anything there. You can't just post one day or post 7 days and then not post for another month, right? It's about consistency, and that's what almost everything in real estate success is about, is even when it doesn't feel like it's working, keep doing it, right? It's consistency. Time on task over time, right, is what they kind of say. Same thing here, right? Use your virtual assistant to go in perhaps and even just create, like one of our virtual assistant partners basically goes in and creates birthdays every day. Like, they see who's in my list of whose birthday it is, and they just go out and send a message to everybody that's like, happy birthday, right? They don't just type happy birthday. They actually create like a little meme, if you will, and they just go out there and post that against everybody, and it just gets engagement to anybody and everybody. How do you increase that? You just go in and look at friends of friends and then basically add them as a friend request, because hopefully most of your friends and the friends of your friends will be similar and like-minded people. I don't encourage you to go out there and just go get a whole bunch of friends that are random and they're coming from foreign countries, because that's probably spam. You're probably going to get inappropriate photos and solicitations for things that's just not something we should have to deal with. The third thing that we should do is create videos. Get in the habit of doing that. That's where society's going and has been going for several years now. Go on, get comfortable with it. Your videos are going to be garbage when you first start them. I'm still learning how to shoot good videos and how to get the right excitement and the right atmosphere and the right intros, but don't overthink all that. Just get on there and start shooting videos. Two simple ways to do that is just use your phone, right? Get maybe a tripod or something, put your phone on it, and then just hit record. Don't worry about it. Go ahead then and put those things on Facebook. Find some topics. Maybe on your weekly planning sessions, you go down and put down, I'm gonna shoot 3 videos this week. First one's gonna be, I'm at an open house because I have an open house this weekend. Maybe a second one is, you know, what's the market like? And so you can do kind of those videos and pre-schedule them out. So really all you have to do is plug and play. Don't overthink it. Don't think that your makeup's off, or don't think that your hair's out of place, or that you sound goofy. Just have confidence, right? Show up and do the videos. The other thing you can do is start to put those on a YouTube channel. Pretty simple. Just go into your Gmail, create a YouTube channel. Don't overthink, like, what does the name of it need to be? How do I tag things? What are the right hashtags? What's the right titles that gains the most views? Don't overthink all that stuff. You can really overcomplicate it. You're gonna wanna dial that in time, but not initially. Initially, just start by doing. The fourth thing we're gonna talk about is POP-BYS. That's very easy. Just go in and do your database. Have your database. Go purchase some inexpensive POP-BYS, right? They can be little $2 bottle openers. I don't really care, right? Because what you wanna do is build your audience up, build rapport, and how do you build those relationships up? Go take the top 25 in your database and go make a drop by. Go say, hey, how are you doing? How many other realtors does that person know? I promise you, they probably know 5 different realtors. And with that being said, those realtors probably aren't dropping by and giving them a bottle opener and saying hi and going face to face with them. Again, how are you being different? Now, if you have a database of 500, probably not gonna be able to go find all 500 in a personal manner. However, if you find who your top are, go ahead and put the top of those people into your POP-BYS system. Go out there, and I've seen local agents in my community that have thrived on POP-BYS. That's how they built the majority of their business. Now, it's a little more difficult to scale that over time. However, you might not need to scale it. You might just wanna look at just doing your top 25 or your top 50, right? It doesn't mean all 500 need to get the same love, if you will, right? You can still communicate with them through phone calls, but perhaps your top clients, if you will, or top friends or top relationships can get you those, you know, you can give your POP-BYS to them. The fifth thing I would do is keep it simple. All of this is supposed to be very inexpensive to get off and running as a new real estate agent, is open houses. Now, I know one of the challenges people see in the open house world is, well, if I don't have any listings, how can I run an open house? Check with your office policies, check with your department regulations, I should say, and see if you can run open houses for other agents. If so, put out an email, like do things different than anybody else. With permission of everybody, go out and solicit your office and say, who has a house that I can do, or a listing that I can do an open house on, right? Send out 100 emails, right? I don't just go one by one. I would blast as many people in the MLS as I could. Again, all the state laws are gonna be different around those things, but that's what I would do, and that's what I have done. Now you get the opportunity to be different than the other agents in the office who are just like, I don't have any open house, I don't have any listings, therefore I can't have any open houses. Don't let those things limit you. Go out and find those open houses. Now what are you gonna do? You're gonna learn how to build a system around open houses. Your first open houses might not be great. You don't have the systems in place. If you're an experienced agent, you do. One of the things that drives me a little bit crazy is experienced agents when they go, I don't have any business, I don't know what else to do, and I go, well, cool, go back to the basics. Go do open houses. Go call through your database, right? Go back and do some of the basics, but sometimes senior agents are like, hey, I don't really do that anymore. What does that mean? You don't do that anymore, right? Go in and actually go back to the fundamentals of what it takes to be successful, right? I think sometimes as senior agents, we get so used to people calling us that when people stop calling us, we don't want to go back and do the basics because we're so used to people just calling us. All right, I hope that video was helpful for you today. Those are 5 techniques to generate leads in 2022. Again, put some feedback below. Put in the comments if you have any other questions, and keep us posted if we can provide any other videos at your request. Thanks.